All right, everybody. It is the Geek Out Freak Out podcast, and we are together again. We're reunited.
Ooh, yeah.
This is the first time we're doing a show together in what? 3 weeks?
I think, yeah.
Well, like
together,
because we took 1 week off by accident.
Yeah.
We'll get into that in a little bit.
did.
And then you did last week with Priscilla while I was out of town.
Yeah.
So it's been about 3 weeks since we've done one together, but it's been over a month since we've been in studio together.
Face to face, yeah.
Because we did 2 remote.
Yeah, we did 2 back-to-back remote.
I was sick, and then I believe you were sick or something, or shit goes down. We have
lives. I think Ezra wasn't feeling too good, I think, at one point, and then Priscilla wasn't feeling too good. Pregnant wife stuff.
Yeah, I understand. Totally.
There's always something going on.
I'm surprised you guys didn't lean into that a little bit last week.
Oh, no, I think she's a little tired.
But I'm back. My sex change is over. I'm back to being a male.
So you got it reversed.
No, it was temporary. Yeah.
Oh, okay. It was just like
you ever seen the episode of The Office where Mike was talking about his reverse vasectomy? Snip, snap, snip, snap. And that's what I went through. Just a snip, snap.
The multiple times you had to keep going back. Yeah.
Yeah. So I got it removed.
Yeah. How many times?
And then I had one put back on. So.
How many times did he get it done?
4 vasectomies. I think is what it was.
Yeah. Ugh.
That's the best episode though.
It's really good.
The dinner party.
Yes,
That's absolutely 100% my favorite episode. And I lived that dinner party in real life. I'm not kidding.
You've had that dinner party.
Yeah, we went to a dinner party and there was a couple arguing, so it was like super awkward for everybody.
Awkward.
But on top of it, like we got there and one person, like the person at the house wasn't the one in charge of cooking. Someone was supposed to be bringing the food. Yeah. And we get there and it's like 6:00 at night. That's when this dinner party, and they haven't even started making dinner. And she's like, well, I was going to make it here, but it takes this amount. And she wasn't even there. She showed up like an hour late and then hadn't even made the dinner yet. And I had to leave to go get something. Oh, I had to go get printer ink.
Yeah.
And for work. And I was like, I have to have this because I have to have it for work because I'm going out of town tomorrow. I need this ink. Yeah. And I left and I was like texting everybody I knew that knew about The Office. It's like, I am living the dinner party episode right now. Like, not only is it awkward because people are fighting, but also
this is happening.
No food's ready. Yeah. Like, I am 100% in this episode right now. And it is. Gosh. I never thought I'd live in an Office episode in my life, and it happened.
And you did.
I thought, maybe if I was going to live one, it was going to be Threat Level Midnight, but whatever.
No, not that. Yeah.
So how have you been, man?
I've been good.
I don't want to jump right into the movie yet because we haven't talked in so long, man.
Yeah, I've been good. I just staying busy with work, playing the same games. Just PSN had that, the PlayStation Store had that big sale, like where a lot of games were.
What'd you get?
I got Jurassic Park Lego.
Why am I not surprised?
But this is the one game like my son can actually. This is the game that my son's gonna learn how to game on, and he's
nice.
He's taking the controller.
Lego ones are good to start him on.
Yeah, and he's getting the grasp of controls on what they do.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm not trying to like have him game way too early.
You'll know he's totally ready when he starts figuring out independent left trigger movement, right trigger camera.
Yeah,
you'll know you're in good.
And
shape.
then I sat him on my lap, and I wouldn't have done it unless. I'm a Patreon subscriber to Ologies podcast, and they answered one of my questions on it because they were talking to a video game like psychologist, like somebody that studies video games and the effects it has on people, and they were talking to her, and the question I submitted actually got answered on the show, which was pretty awesome, and I was like super excited. Like they said my full blown name.
Out?
Oh yeah, like first of all,
Ali Salgado.
Yeah, Ali Ward said my full name like perfectly. And I was just like, oh my God, I have such a huge crush on Ali Ward as it is. And for her to like read my question out there and have it answered. And basically it was saying like, it's never too early, to
Did you change your pants?
Afterwards, yeah.
I knew you
and I had to because I was at work. So thankfully I always take an extra pair. So she answered the question, and like basically the person said like, it's never too early to like introduce your kids to gaming, but as long as you're like there along the way, not just leaving them to play it.
Yeah, you're not using it as a dump off baby.
Yeah, and you're not like you're definitely not exposing them to like anything like crazy. And my kid
helps a lot with motor skills.
Yeah, he loves
like
dinosaurs. He loves Jurassic Park. So as soon as he even saw like the game load up screen, he was just like he figured out like this is a game. I'm grabbing the controller. And like he was sitting down and he was like ready to play 2-player mode.
That's cool, man.
And so it's a little bit of like him like running to the side of the screen and being stuck at those points for like a long time.
That's what I was about to tell you.
But eventually like he's like, figures out like, this button jumps, this button. Like,
Lego games playing 2-player with a kid are so frustrating.
frustrating. Yeah.
Oh my god, and it gets better. Like it's better now because they'll do the split screen stuff. Yeah. But in the earlier ones, they never did that. So you'd have to like work together and be like, oh my god, you're running to the left. We need to go to the right. Like.
But there's times here where the characters have to switch over, like different characters do different actions, and he's the character and he won't give the controller up. Oh. So I'm just like, we're gonna turn it off for a while.
There should be a way, like a parent mode where it's a force swap.
That'd be smart to do
where, like, like, hey, I need your help. Yeah. Or when you get to ones where it's like a dual lever has to be pulled or something, and you're like, you get like, hey, I'm here to pull this lever.
Yeah.
Come pull this lever.
Yeah. Like kind of force them to do it.
Yeah, there should be. I know there's drop in, drop out modes, and I've had to do that before. Like, okay, drop out for a second. Let me help solve this puzzle, and then drop back in and fight.
Yeah,
and we've done that before. Yeah, because my son used to play a lot of those too. We used to do a lot of the Lego Batman ones and stuff, and he loves the Lego games. He's played a lot of them. So, now he's like 13 and still trying to play those games.
Those games are fun.
They're fun,
and I love the dialogue that they pulled from the movies.
I love that they actually use dialogue now. We used to play them when there was no, like the Star Wars ones.
Yeah,
there was
nothing. It was just like
I hated that.
exclamations like with the faces.
I love it now that they include dialogue, and they're full on dialogue, like the Batman ones and the Marvel ones and stuff. They're full on dialogue.
Yeah, the Jurassic Park's really good one. Like they pull some like iconic lines.
Just try the Marvel ones with them. Lego Marvel is really good.
Yeah, as soon as like we get through this one, we'll see what else.
It's cool though because he likes dinosaurs and stuff.
Yeah, he's like so into it.
Oh, he'll probably go in overload with Marvel, as many characters as there are.
Yeah, if he ever like gets into like that, he's not really like watching like Avengers.
Like Spider-Man though, right?
He does like Spider-Man. He gets his Spider-Man, and I think he flips out for him because his nephew, or my nephew, his cousin, he's like 4 years old. He's such a big fan of Spider-Man, so he sees like how excited he gets for him, and he even knows like who Spider-Man is now. Like,
nice.
Yeah, so he knows this. Like his favorite characters are like dinosaurs from Jurassic Park, Spider-Man, and PJ Masks.
We've got a video of Savannah about that age, and her she's pretending to be on the phone, and she's setting up a dinner party that Peter Parker is coming over.
Oh,
to.
Cool.
And it's a funny video. She hates that we still have it because we'll watch it over and over
That's
and over.
Funny.
But she was about that age, and she knew Spider-Man. And we've got videos of her a little earlier, too, that she's trying to sing along to WWE music. She was singing Zack Ryder's music, and there's one where she's chanting, she's like, feed me more, and doing Ryback's
You may have shown me the Zack Ryder one.
Yeah,
I think I do remember that.
Good stuff.
He's a little goofball. He knows that, like, he knows the hand motion for Spider-Man.
Oh, so he does the wrist flip?
Yeah, if I tell him, like, what does Spider-Man do? He goes, like,
that's super cool.
So
that's
he makes
fun.
the sound. So that's actually pretty neat. Yeah,
that's fun.
So it's like, whoa, I can't believe you're like,
up on stuff you're into.
Yeah,
that's what's cool because this all started. My son's 13. It all started when he was about 1 or 2 when they started putting out like Iron Man and stuff. Transformers came out, Iron Man came out, so it was a good time. And now you're at even better of that time where everything that you were into is becoming super popular again. So you get to share that with him, and you get to be into that stuff with him. And it's super fun as a parent for that stuff to
the same like kind of stuff that we nerd out about
because of that.
The things that we nerd out about, like when we were kids, like are like things that they're gonna kind of like get into, which is pretty neat. So yeah, it's fun. So so we did that, and then I saw that they announced you know how like they do those Walking with Dinosaur Live tours. There's I don't know if it's the same company or if Universal bought them, but they're basically doing a Jurassic World version of that. So
that's
it's
super cool.
Yeah, so they're gonna be like they pulled like an ad for it on Instagram. It's funny because like all us guys are like when the Velociraptor shows up, I'm like, who's that? And he goes Blue. So he like knows the name, and it's pretty cool because like I'll say Tyrannosaurus and he'll say Rex.
That's cool.
So I'm like, yeah, this is my kid.
Yeah, he's definitely.
And he saw that. I showed him the quick clip of
it.
And he
just
Dino
DNA.
Watched it. Yeah, he just watched it on repeat, just nonstop. And like I downloaded the video for him.
You sent me that video from YouTube where it was like that song remake.
Oh
or something
God, yes. And I don't know how
you're like, this is better than the movie.
Yeah, it's better. It's actually better than Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom. But it's just a dance remix of like
the song like tells the story.
Yeah, it tells the whole plot line of Jurassic World, of the second one. And so I don't know how my son. He watches it's called Toy Lab TV or something like that, and it's basically a dad and his son. The son's like, I think he's probably like has to be like 10 or 11, but they've been doing like the channel for like 3 years, and it started out with just him being like into like looking at all the dinosaurs. It started with the first Jurassic World, and they would review all the toys.
Oh, that's cool.
And then they started like they review the toys, and then they started making like their own series, and they like basically acting out like that they have their own park that they maintain dinosaurs. That's and cool. They put like, it's rudimentary, but it's like CGI dinosaurs into certain shots. So they play like park rangers,
That's cool.
And so my son loves that channel. And I guess because he grouped like all the dinosaur like YouTube clips started just grouping together.
So it's like one after another. So it's one after another. The recommended.
Yeah, and then eventually that song hit up one of those recommended videos. Nice. He clicked on it and he saved it. And now the kid, he even knows like the song to it. I'm just like, oh God. So it's really funny.
Speaking of that YouTube stuff, like we walked out of the grocery store the other day, and a sports car goes past us, and my daughter looks at it and looks at me and goes, "I want a McLaren." I was like, "How do you know what a McLaren is?" And she goes, "Oh, one of my favorite YouTubers has one."
Please don't say it's Blippi.
No,
Does Blippi have a McLaren?
I immediately froze, and I was like, "What the fuck am I doing with my life?" Yeah. Like, we're fighting to pay for two $30,000 vehicles, and this guy's got a McLaren.
Yeah, well, Blippi, I mean,
it's like Infinite or something.
Wait,
which one is Blippi?
Blippi's he's like an educational channel for toddlers and younger kids. I think Savannah might even be too old for him. But that guy, he did like some really like rude videos.
You know what he did?
Just found
I'm aware of this. I heard this on I think it was on an episode of Reply All. So you listened to the same episode. I listened
to it this week.
Yeah, he did a video. It was a Harlem Shake video of him taking a shit on his friend's chest. Yeah. And now he does
kid videos.
Yeah. He like toy review videos. In the video, he sells his own like toys. Everything. He makes millions of dollars.
Yeah. He fully acknowledges his past, and he says like he's like super embarrassed about it. He's like,
whatever, it brought him attention.
Yeah, so. And they're talking about like in that Reply All podcast, which is great. They're talking about like how they can't really filter out the type of people who are making videos. Like the people would figure like that was the guy who made that video. He probably wouldn't have had a channel. But it's like so far gone. I don't think people are even care anymore that that's what he did.
I just think it's funny.
And he wasn't in character,
it wasn't like he was dressed as it in his name.
Yeah. It wasn't like, but if you type in like Blimpy takes a dump, like it's that
there's links to it.
Those things will come up, which is hilarious.
I typed it in and immediately it popped up.
Yeah, like, Blippy, I think he may have. I think he has a studio based out.
That was the Momo episode, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was a really good episode.
I am hooked on that podcast.
Yeah, you got me back on it. Yeah, you told me about it. I think a while back I would listen to it, and then he told me all about it again, and I've been listening to it nonstop.
I made my wife listen to the while we were traveling. I made her listen to the episode with Jason Mantzoukas where they were talking about Harry Potter. Mm-hmm. Have you listened to that one yet?
Yes, that's a fantastic one.
It's funny because the premise of it and the whole Harry Potter stuff is it gets back to J.K. Rowling going back and editing people's past and stuff, like how she went back and made Dumbledore gay.
Yeah, and then he made him ultra gay.
Yeah. And now she had one tweet where she said that prior to them having Muggle plumbing in Hogwarts, the wizards would shit on the floor and then disappear with their wand. Yeah. Which, like, his argument was valid. He's like, why wouldn't they just have a magical toilet?
Yeah,
just disappear it out of the toilet.
Like a magical bucket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, why do they have to just do it where they're standing and then make it disappear? Why couldn't they just go to the toilet and then instead of it going in the water, they could disappear from there?
It could even been like a like an invisible room. Like they had the invisible cloak. Like
they just needed to explain somehow that there was a bathroom there for the Moony Myrtle stuff.
Yeah.
Or Moony Myrtle. Was it Moony?
Moony Myrtle.
Yeah, I got it right.
I was just watching it earlier. I was watching
Have
Chamber.
You?
Yeah,
I've only seen those movies one time each.
I was watching Chamber of Secrets.
I'm going to go back through them all.
And Priscilla is just totally like weirded out by Myrtle. She's like, why is she so pervy? Like, that's her character. I'm just like, I don't know. Like, that is total like child predator.
My wife has it screenshotted, but you can get a butterbeer frappuccino from Starbucks.
Yeah,
she's got the recipe for it screenshotted, so that way she can get one herself on her next cheat day.
Do it. Yeah. It's like a $10 drink. But
I beat The Division.
Wow.
Yeah. Not the whole thing. I beat the story
mode,
and I hit level 30. So I'm in the end game.
Nice.
And the end game's dope.
Yeah,
it's much better than anything ahead of it. Like, it is really, really good. It's a lot of leveling up. Like, it's funny because everything that you've done kind of gets wiped. Like, as soon as you're done, they're like, hey, there's this group called the Black Tusk coming in. And they're basically division agents. So it's a higher tier of enemies that have higher tech. So it's a harder level of people to face. But it just wipes out everything you've done. You got to go back and reclaim the whole city again.
Yeah.
And I've just started it, but It's not bad. I enjoy doing this more than I did before. And you get like specialist levels. So as soon as you finish, like you get to pick like one of 3 specialist levels. Like you can get a crossbow, you can get a grenade launcher, you can get a badass sniper rifle.
That's cool.
And those have skill trees to level up. And nothing else in the game has skill trees up until that point. Yeah. So it's like a whole new game unlocks once you get that spot. Which is the opposite problem I had with Anthem, which is when I finished it, I didn't know what the hell to do anymore. It was just boring.
You're like, do I just throw this in the trash?
Yeah, what do I do? I also started Devil May Cry, but I haven't made it very far in it at all.
Yeah, I think
because
the last
Division
time we talked, yeah.
My goal is to finish that.
Yeah, I think I remember you saying that, yeah.
I want to trade it off because I really want to play Yoshi's Crafting World.
That looks really cool.
It looks like a lot of fun. And I think my wife and my daughter would have a lot of fun playing it, so I really want to get that one next.
Yeah, that game looks awesome.
So I think that's going to be my next buy. I don't know. Is there any, before we get into the movie or anything, is there any like news or anything? Did you see the Stadia? The Google Stadia?
Stadia. They announced their streaming software.
What are your thoughts?
For the casual gamer, I think it's a great idea. I think I don't know how it's going to work with in-browser gaming. Like, to me, I'm just like...
I think it's cool they're offering their own controller for it.
Yeah, that's cool. And you can use... I mean, it was said you can use your existing controllers as well. But if you don't have a console and you don't want to buy one, going and buying a Stadia controller if it's not going to be more expensive than your standard Xbox or your PlayStation. I think an Xbox controller is $50.
I mean, it's a cool way to get into these. Yeah, it starts about $50-$55.
A PlayStation controller is like $60.
It's a cool way to get into games without having to drop $500 on a console or something.
Yeah, and it's cool. I mean, you don't have to spend $500 on a console, and if you have a decent PC, you can run it.
So here's my problem. Google has a bad track record with abandoning projects.
Yeah.
I mean, just next week, Google Plus is ending. Mm-hmm. So
it's surprising. Like, you would have thought, like, Google Plus is still around, but
it's already kind of sketchy to buy a digital game because you don't own it. It's something that can go away.
You only own the rights to that license
to play
as long as it exists.
As long as the servers are up and everything. At least if you don't have that, like if you have the physical and the servers go down, someone could spin up a homemade server or a makeshift server a private server in order to play it. And you could still play the disc. Yeah. Or if there's offline features, you could still play something.
Yeah.
But once the company goes kaput, you're done.
Yeah.
And I'm already walking that tightrope with
all our digitals. Yeah.
But now you're going to have everything I have tied to the streaming service, essentially. Mm-hmm. And if Google does what they normally do and goes under on a project and decides we're not interested in it anymore, which, again, they've done this on like 5 or 6 projects already, you lose everything on that.
Google Glass.
I think this is right. I think this is a great idea for someone like Microsoft. I think Microsoft is going to be the people to come forward and perfect this and make it to where
have
it's
they not already
trust.
Done that like with like some of their streaming game services?
With Game Pass, they don't do streaming; they do download.
Oh, okay,
so
gotcha.
It's still like Netflix. You get the rights to play the game, but you download the full copy of the game.
It's PlayStation that has the streaming.
PlayStation originally started. PlayStation Now originally started streaming only, but I believe they've even caved and they've given the opportunity to download, so you could stream more download.
And I saw like the recommended specs. You need to have like a 20 down at least, like a 20 megabyte. Which. To me, we don't have that problem, but there's going to be like areas.
Oh, there's areas. There's a friend of mine that I think he gets 12 max.
Yeah.
And so he wouldn't be able to do it.
Yeah.
So I think America's not ready for that. Like I think overseas and stuff where they have better issues or better bandwidth internet, they're going to be fine. Yeah. But I think here in the United States where we're slowly catching up, I think if 5G turns out to be what everyone wants it to be, then that could be something that could run well on this. But I think it's a cool idea. I just don't think that anybody's ready for it.
I'm interested. I want to see it succeed, but I won't use it. Yeah, I don't need to.
And then I think in like movie and superhero news, you see Angelina Jolie might be a Marvel character.
Yeah, for the Eternals.
The Eternals.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's a good get for them. I think leading with some star power to get attention to that because it's going to be relatively unknown
for the next phase.
If you're not a comic book head or anybody, you're not. I mean, you're just the casual MCU fan. You're not going to know who the Eternals are or anything. So I think getting a big name to draw attention to that is a good idea.
Because I think they want the Eternals to be like their next Guardians. So
and James Gunn's back. Did we get to talk about that?
No, he that was the week I think that we didn't do a show.
Yeah.
But yeah, James Gunn is back and he's back on.
James Gunn?
James Gunn. I was going to say James Gunn.
James Junn?
James Junn.
It's the dollar store. Yeah. James Gunn. So he's going to end up being able to do Suicide Squad and
which Suicide Squad now is a reboot.
Yeah, I've heard it's a reboot.
Yeah, so I wonder if they're going to keep... It'd be interesting to see if Harley's going to be Harley still. Because I know she's still interested in doing the character.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, that wouldn't throw me off.
I mean, she's in, was it Harley's Bird? Is it Birds of Prey?
Yeah, I mean, you can call it a reboot and not allude to it being a reboot, and I think everybody would be fine.
Yeah, as long as James Gunn's in it, I have 100% faith.
And then Idris Elba, I think is he still rumored?
No, he was confirmed.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
So even when I sent you the link, it was confirmed. Yeah. I believe.
So that's great. I mean, I think you're only moving up, and it wasn't even on bad terms. It was just the fact that like Will Smith had something scheduling conflicts. Yeah. So, and then Ezra Miller dropped out of the Flash, so he's not going to be the Flash anymore.
Did he really?
Yeah. So
did you see that? What's the name of the guy who plays the Flash on the TV show? It was like Graham or something.
Yeah. Graham.
Flash CW.
Wasn't he on Glee at one point?
Right? I think he was.
He's a Glee kid, isn't he?
Who's the actor who plays him? Flash CW. It's Grant Gustin.
Oh yeah.
Did you see where he made it onto Family Guy?
No.
He was on Conan, I think, and they played a clip of Family Guy. He's like, I knew I made it when Family Guy was talking about me.
Oh, wow.
And it was Stewie was at a psychiatrist talking about his sexuality.
Yeah.
And he's like leaning into the fact that he might be gay.
Yeah.
But he's still kind of straight tendencies. And he's talking about, he's like, I mean, am I full on? Probably not. But do I think that I can make a great Instagram couple with Grant Gustin? Yes, I do. And he pauses for a minute and it like pulls back and shows the psychiatrist, and he's super old. And he's like, Grant Gustin plays the Flash on CW's TV show of The Flash. You wouldn't know that because you're older than 35. And he's just like leading it to him. It was really good.
Oh, that's good.
And he's like, I knew I made it when friends were texting me. He's like, I grew up watching Family Guy, and now I'm on Family Guy. So friends are like, oh my God, when they talked about you. Yeah. He's like, I know I'm in a good place now.
That's awesome. Yeah.
So I thought that was cool.
That's cool.
Mark Hamill is Chucky.
Yeah, so apparently, I guess they didn't have a voice yet for Chucky. So that movie is already done with like principal photography. Like,
they just needed a voiceover.
The only bad thing I don't like about it's like, Aubrey Plaza's in the movie, like, but that's kind of weird too when you think about things like that, because remember when they did like and not to equate these movies like on the same level, but like when they did Power Rangers and they announced,
no, you could totally put them on the same level.
No, the last Power Rangers.
No, you could totally put them on the same level.
But like they announced like Bryan Cranston like really late, like, that he was
as Zordon.
Yeah, and it was like obviously he had nothing to do with the whole movie. You know, they just used his like kind of like his head and his voice. So like nobody that was in that movie got to even probably meet him.
Yeah, well, I'm sure. And because he was just in there.
I don't even think he went to the premiere. I don't even remember.
Probably not. I mean, would you?
But like, they all got to hang out with Elizabeth Banks, so that's pretty cool.
Okay, then I'd go hang out with Elizabeth Banks.
Yeah, she's pretty awesome.
Yes, she is. She's the reason. She's the reason I don't like Pitch Perfect 3.
Because she didn't direct it.
She didn't direct it. She was in it, but she didn't direct it. And it's not the best movie.
She directed 2, right?
1 and 2.
Just 1 and 2?
And 2 is my favorite.
Yeah, that's right. She also directed... There was a couple other movies she directed, I think, that were...
Did you get to see the... Avengers toy leaks today?
Yes, I did.
They were all released today.
And then I had, you know what's funny, the week we didn't do the show, I had like a long list of notes like on a sticky that I wrote.
Oh, and you
like,
lost
going throughout the whole week, and then I don't know what I did with this since
I've had a ton of stuff I'm wanting to talk about, and I keep forgetting.
And then we got another another Avengers trailer that happened during that week, which was pretty good.
Yeah, the one with the black and white.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's nothing, but I kept pointing out the fact during the black and white, the only color shown is red. So I wonder if there's any hint to that being the Reality Stone is something major.
Something going on.
But they also released all those posters, the character posters.
Yes.
And everyone who's dead is in black and white. Everyone who's alive is in color. And in black and white is Shuri.
Yeah.
And then in color... is Valkyrie.
Yeah,
so Valkyrie made it, and I am super jazzed because Valkyrie is one of my favorite characters in Thor. She was,
and I don't know if you noticed, like I follow both Tessa Thompson and Brie Larson on Instagram, and they've both been sharing like, a lot of like fan art of like Valkyrie and Marvel together. Yeah, not together, but kind of like I guess like buddy,
or like possibly borderline something.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's great.
I think it's really cool
like,
too.
Keep sharing that stuff.
I think so too.
It's really
cool. We never got to talk about Thanos.
The theory of Ant-Man blowing himself up in
him getting super small, going up Thanos' ass, and then expanding.
There's been some great fan art, and even some great some great fan computer generated.
I sent you one. I shared one on our Instagram of someone that cut open a pop vinyl and had a pop.
That was horrible.
It was a Thanos pop vinyl that was cut open at the butt.
Ruin that pop vinyl. But I guess
for that
like 70.
They sold it. They made a custom box for it. And it was it was a meme on the back of the box, and it had Thanos going, "You should have aimed for the head," and it showed Ant-Man was the next still, and then underneath it, he's like, "Oh, should I?"
Or should I?
It was so good. I'm trying to look because there was some other stuff I wanted to go through, and you sent me a great article. I don't know who was this, The Onion? It was a Hard Times. Disney buys Fantastic Four script to balance the wobbly table. It's good stuff. I'm looking through to see if there's any news I missed.
Just a constant clowning on Fantastic Four that me and you have done.
I mean, it was worth it.
Yeah,
those movies are terrible. Totally. So there's in the toys, of course, we get to see Hulk in the full Quantum Realm suit. Mm-hmm. You can see everybody in the Quantum Realm suit. There's a really good Walmart exclusive pop vinyl of the Ronin suit.
Yeah,
and I really need that. But there's a Lego set that has Thanos attacking the Avengers facility. And normally
cool.
The Lego sets have been pretty accurate, so they're thinking that possibly Thanos is going to be attacking Avengers in this one. And there's a really cool, I think it's a Walgreens exclusive pop vinyl of Hawkeye with the haircut, the new haircut.
Yeah.
So someone asked, in the new trailer, it shows Hawkeye with what looks like his daughter.
Yeah.
But someone asked, is that his daughter or is that Kate Bishop? And he's training her.
Oh.
Because the female Hawkeye from the comic books, Kate Bishop. So I wonder.
But
I'm sure it's his daughter.
I think it's his daughter. They're just gonna flip it around.
Supposedly, we're supposed to have the Stark daughter in this movie too.
Yeah.
So, do you notice in a lot of the trailers they went out of their way not to show this image in the new one when everyone's walking in the full suits, in the Quantum Realm suits?
Yeah.
But in the original one, there was a gap between everybody walking in the Quantum Realm suit.
And now they're kind of smashed together.
Well, they don't show that wide shot of them walking. They show up close shots of their face. But originally, that big gap, everyone thought that's Hulk.
Yeah,
and they're not. I know they did announce that they put a lot of false footage in the trailers.
Yeah, the Russos said there's a lot of purposely there.
Well, they did that with the last movie too, because
Yeah.
remember Hulk was in the scene in Wakanda running with everybody, not in the Hulk, but it wasn't Bruce in the Hulkbuster suit. It was full on Hulk.
Full on Hulk, and he wasn't in the movie at all.
Yeah, it wasn't in the movie other than
except for the very
2
very
minutes.
beginning. Yeah.
But also there was a guy who did CGI who was talking on, I believe it was either Twitter or Reddit, and he said that he did CGI for the movie with Hulk missing an arm.
Yeah.
And he said he doesn't know what's supposed to happen to the arm if he loses it in the gauntlet or if he gets his arm cut off. But he's also said that he's done CGI in the past for MCU movies that have never made it to the movie.
Yeah.
So they make them this extra stuff, and then some of it doesn't come out. And he's like, I just take this with a grain of salt, but I did CGI with the Hulk missing an arm. So they don't know if that's something that actually makes it in the movie or what's going on.
Oh yeah, it was released that the movie was gonna be 3 hours and 2 minutes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think watching Monday Night Raw is prepared.
That's what everybody who's who's a wrestling fan who just says Raw has prepared me for this.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I've watched. I think it's well deserving.
Yeah.
That it gets to 3 hours. I think they said themselves too that. It's funny. There's a Suicide Squad thing on here too. I'll bring up, but they've said they need that movie to breathe.
Yeah.
They don't need to rush anything.
Definitely.
So
yeah.
I mean, it's a culmination of 20 movies.
Jeez, yeah.
And this is probably going to be the jumping off for some newer stuff and maybe the closure for a lot of others. So this movie does need its room. And there's no intermission. They said that they ran it 4 times and they only had people get up in one of the showings.
I'm taking tiny sips of water.
Yeah. I might not even take water at all or snacks to the first
I'm taking
time.
a 20 or a liter.
We've already let my daughter know she's not coming with us. Yeah. We're like, no, maybe the second time you can go with us to watch it. But
when I'm prepared to get out of my seat.
I almost went and watched Captain Marvel again today. She hasn't watched it, and I want to take her to it. It would be
my brother got the opportunity to go to an advanced screening of Shazam.
Nice.
Yeah, and you said you loved it.
Which one?
Eric.
He said it was good? It looks like a really good movie. Yeah. I'm really excited to watch Shazam.
He said his words were best DC movie. So
it looks like it could be. It really does. And Aquaman was really good too.
Yeah.
So speaking of those movies, because I know you're probably going to end up buying a bunch of tickets, or at least your own, don't pay me back for Kurt Hawkins.
Oh, okay.
I bought Matt an action figure, and I was like, you know what? Last time I bought him a figure, he sent me $20 on PayPal. That $20 sat in my PayPal account, and then I sent it back to him for movie tickets. Yeah. Okay. So we'll just grab me a couple movie tickets, and I'll pay you the difference for the third.
Weeks, yeah.
So we'll be good. I'll PayPal you for a third ticket.
Cool, yeah.
But it does say on here that Jai Courtney, however you pronounce his name, who played Captain Boomerang, is returning for Suicide Squad.
Okay.
So he is a returning character. Yeah. So I don't know how much of a reboot it's going to be when they have some of these same characters.
Yeah.
I don't know how they're going to work that.
I think they'll just rework the story.
I have faith in James Gunn writing and directing it, so it can't be bad.
Get it done.
I don't know. Was there anything else out there? There's a theory that a Flurkin caused the scars to Thanos.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I could get behind that. I could really get behind that. I got a Flurkin pop vinyl. Over the weekend.
Yeah, you did. You showed me. Yeah, where's it at?
It's up there on the wall. It's
a
Flurkin
there it is.
taken in the Tesseract.
Yeah, you got your whole Captain Marvel.
I need one more to go up there.
Right
And I think I'm going to get the verse with the Mohawk and put the Mohawks on either side.
Yeah, you got your whole themes.
I need this to just be Marvel too.
Yeah.
I need to just put all Marvel on the
because that one's a little bit, you have one that's a little bit of a hodgepodge of Overwatch.
Yeah, because I don't have any more Marvel ones to put up there. But I just put video game stuff until I got that Joker. And I was
you got the cool Venomized shelf there.
Yeah.
That one's pretty awesome.
Venomized ones. The Venomized ones are really cool. I think I might get a lot of the Avengers ones.
Yeah.
Not a lot, but I think I like the 2-pack. I like the Ronin one, I think for sure I'm getting. Yeah. I mean, some of the others were just There's the Thanos. Everything you've seen in Thanos in the toys, he's in the full costume. Have you seen that? He's got the full, and he's holding like a glaive or a sword or something of some sort, which I think is going to be really cool.
Is this an announcer's table it comes with?
Is it? I didn't even pay attention. I didn't even look. I just saw it was Kurt Hawkins, and I knew you were looking for him. Matt is a WWE figurehead.
God,
big time.
It's bit me. The bug has bit me again. Like
and that's kind of how it's been with pop vinyls.
The longest time I hadn't bought anything. Like I hadn't bought a figure in a long time, and then it just kind of like hit me with that Finn. Like, and I was just like, well, I want to just get my favorites. Like,
that Finn Balor one was really cool, and then we took it out of the package while you're here, and he had the gay pride stuff on the back. And that was even better.
Because that was a total surprise. I didn't expect
that at all. So it's got the rainbow logo on the back and the rainbow boots.
Yeah, the pride flag on his, which he wore last year at last WrestleMania. That was where he debuted it.
Yep.
So
I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, I had no idea it was like that because I hadn't just seen the box version, and it didn't really like. I love the demon the Finn Balor. That's that character he does portray, but I kind of just wanted a regular version.
Yeah, just with the leather jacket.
And that one's probably like the best one.
The James Dean cool, John Wayne tough one.
Yeah. And so just like that kind of like spurred because the other figures I had before, I think I just had like a Sasha Banks, and that was a cool one. And then like getting the Finn.
And you just bought a Roman Reigns too.
I bought a Roman Reigns.
Roman Reigns.
And I was just like, I'm just gonna get the ones like my favorite guys. Yeah. That's like the big thing. And like that Roman's like kind of borderline. I am a fan of him, but like what really sold me on it was the IC Championship. I'm just like, I kind of have to get it.
I was scrolling through my Twitter and I realized that I had bought you that like years ago. I bought you the actual replica title.
Yeah. My son plays with that. Yeah.
That's kind of how I was with some of my pop vinyls. Like the Venomized ones, I thought were really cool. And originally the one I was after the most was the Ghost Rider because he had the flame head.
That was the one I remember. Yeah, you looked.
And then I found the Loki first, and then someone got me. Did you get me the Iron Man?
I got you the Iron Man one. Yeah,
you got me the Iron Man, and then I found Hulk, and I was like, I might as well get the rest.
Yeah.
So I'm still missing 2, I think.
Okay.
I know one of them is Carnage, and I can't remember what the other one is, but I know Carnage for sure. I'm missing.
Carnage is getting ready to come back with a big run on the comics.
Is he?
Yeah,
awesome.
In August, there's going to be,
which is smart since he's supposed to be in the sequel to Venom.
Yeah,
so
there's going to be a big
audience.
There's going to be a big Carnage run. So come August,
which is normally what Marvel does, and that's why people are thinking that Black Knight might be in one of the movies because he's getting a big run in the comics now as well. And then the Captain Marvel ones, I kind of just jumped on. I didn't really. I wasn't impressed with the core ones. Yeah. None of those are core.
Yeah.
Not a single one of them are from the core set.
Yeah.
And I wasn't impressed with the core ones. I thought they were kind of cool. Yeah. The only one of the core ones, and I don't think it's advertised as part of the set, that I kind of like is there's one, and it's Pop Vinyl Rides, and it's Carol on the motorcycle. And I kind of want that one. But I got the one of, I don't know which exclusive. I think it's a Target. I don't know. But I got the one of Captain Marvel with the Mohawk flying, and it glows in the dark. And then I got the regular one of her powering up, glow in the dark. And then I stumbled across the Flurkin, taking in his tentacles are all out of his mouth, and he's taking in the Tesseract.
That's a cool one.
And then I didn't even know the Korath one existed. I just saw it in a Hot Topic, and it was a limited edition. And I was like, okay,
so that's a store exclusive.
I don't really know. It was a Funko convention exclusive.
Oh wow!
So I don't know if any other stores have it, but I know Hot Topic normally sells the Funko convention ones. And I wasn't going to get any of the villains from there because I didn't really like the Yonrog figure. But I don't know, something about the Korath one. I think it's just the blue eyes and stuff. I was like, okay, I'm sold. Korath is a cool character, and I was really glad that he was back in this movie. So
that's cool.
I jumped on that one.
Yeah,
I don't think I've bought any others though. I got the Star Wars one. I got the glow in the dark Darth Vader where he's getting electrocuted.
Right, yeah.
It's really cool because it's got a kind of see-through helmet.
Yeah.
And the skull inside is glow in the dark.
Yeah. That's pretty awesome.
Dying,
You're all right. And yeah,
this wind, man, has killed me.
Yeah, my idea too is like I'm only getting elites. So.
Yeah, that's the only ones I would go for. I just haven't seen any that really jumped out. I kind of want that Samoa Joe.
The Joe is pretty cool.
The Joe is really cool. And there's a run of WrestleMania elites that I kind of like. I like the Scott Hall one. And I've been wishy-washy on whether I should get the Scott Hall one or not.
I kind of question, because I think there was like maybe 2 of them like at our Walmart that I saw. And the
Undertaker one's all right, but I've seen a million Undertaker figures. I own a couple.
So like I'm looking at the ones that I want to get, and there's not the current Seth Rollins that they put out. There's a Seth Rollins I think like a couple series back.
You don't like the current with the 2 titles?
I don't think that's the one I like. Yeah. There's something about that face that throws me off.
I wish they would do one with the Game of Thrones attire.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
The gray attire and the blue eyes.
Blue eyes. That would have been really neat. Yeah, that should be a WrestleMania one.
I would buy that figure
done that one.
if they had it.
I like one of the. I can't remember which series. I think it was like this is 64. I think it was like 61. Was they had another set? There's a Kofi Kingston like Series 60. I think that I want to get
the red, white, and blue.
Yeah, that one's pretty awesome.
I've seen it a bunch of times. If you want me to snag it for you again, I will.
Yeah, if you come across it,
it's about 70 miles away.
Okay. Yeah.
If I go, I'm going there tomorrow.
if it's still there, I definitely want to get a Kofi, and then Liv Tyler.
Liv Morgan.
I want that when that one comes out. I'm probably going to pre-order that one, which that one probably won't be out for a while. I do want that Ruby Riott one. That's that NXT edition one that she has.
Yes,
it's just those ones are super rare to find, those NXT ones. And there is I'm waiting for like a cool Sonya Deville to come out. She's for some reason
be a cool one.
Sonya Deville's been like slowly creeping up on me as one of my favorites to watch.
You know what I think would be a good one to get is a what's her name?
There's a couple good ones out there. There's a couple good.
The other girl in Ruby Riott's group,
Sarah Logan.
Yeah, because the vest and stuff and like her Viking
that would
stuff,
have
I think
cool
that would be a really cool figure.
It,
and I think War Raiders figures would be really good because you would get the entrance stuff and like the Viking. I would.
And they usually put a lot of good detail into the NXT guys.
Yeah, I would take that in a heartbeat. Is there a Gargano one?
Yeah, they have a Johnny Gargano, and I should have. I can't remember if it's a basic, but there might be.
I need an elite Gargano.
One. Yeah, I want an elite Gargano. Yeah.
So I don't know that there's a lot else that we should talk about. I know there was a lot. Again, like I'm in the same boat that you were in. Like I had a lot of stuff that we should have talked about.
Yeah.
That happened, and then now I'm just like.
I think we're good. I think it's like good. Like a week has gone by.
So we watched the movie.
Yeah, we did.
And I'm really happy about this.
Yeah, it was fun to watch.
We watched Starship Troopers.
That's right.
And God, it didn't disappoint.
No.
It did.
You know what? This movie still holds up.
You know, the CGI is good in some spots and then terrible in others.
It was in the only parts I know where you're talking like where it's there's like on the bigger bugs.
Their green screen is terrible. Yeah. And what I notice is anytime that the bugs are like in the backdrop and humans are in the foreground, it's bad.
Yeah.
Like you can see how animated and how terrible it looks anytime there's a human in the foreground, like immediate foreground where like they're taking up a decent amount or something, then it can look bad.
Yeah.
There's a one shot on the bridge with Denise Richards that the green screen is terrible. You and I could do better green screen than that. And other than that,
it's a
fun movie, man.
I don't even this actually was nominated for Best Visual Effects in 1998.
Shut up.
This movie came out in 1997, and I think it's pretty good. I really enjoyed it. It was cool. There were some spots like where I was talking about like on the CGI, like on the bigger like the beetle type bugs. The CGI didn't look that great, but there was a spot there too, like where Rico.
Some of the butt ones that are firing out of their ass look okay.
Yeah. There was a spot where Rico jumped on the back and like he was riding it, and I was like, "Wow, that was actually pretty seamless."
It
like
wasn't
the
bad.
way it looked, it didn't look.
Casper Van Dien broke his rib on that scene.
Yeah, and I was just like, "Well, who did the visual effects for this movie?" And
Did
it's like nobody big.
Huh?
Yeah. So I was just like, "Wow."
They must have just had a hell of a budget.
They did have a really good budget. I mean, they did not.
Yeah, you just brought it up.
They did not have like. You look at actors, like there's no like A-listers at this point in their lives that were in this movie. You know, everybody here was kind of just getting their getting their feet wet.
So it was nominated for 1 Oscar, Academy Awards for Best Visual Effects, Best Effects, Visual Effects, Academy of Science Fiction, Fantasy, and Horror Films USA, Best Costumes, Best Special Effects, Best Science, and that was winners.
Best sci-fi movie.
Nominated also for Best Sci-Fi, Best Director, and Best Writer. Yeah. It was nominated for 15 awards total. An MTV Movie Award for Best Action Sequence for The Bugs Attacking the Fortress. Satellite Awards, whatever that is, for Best Motion Picture, Animated or Mixed Media, Best Visual Effects. The Stinkers and Bad Movie Awards for Worst Picture was a nominee. World Animation Celebration for Best Use of Animation as a Special Effects and Theatrical. Yeah. Motion Picture Sound Editors for Best Sound Editing for Dialogue, Sound Effects, and Best Domestic Features and Sound Effects and Foley. So it's funny because it was nominated for Best Costumes, and the whole time leading up to like watching this movie, as I'm watching from the beginning to about 3/4 of the way through, I'm like, damn, the costumes are really cool in this movie. Like the wardrobe people nailed this. Yeah. And then here come the officers dressed as Nazis. I was like, shit.
Yeah, well, because there's the director of the movie, like he's like, because there's a novel that came out before this movie, and
there's also an anime called Starship Troopers. Is that based on that at all?
I have no idea. I'm trying to look at the book. I don't remember when the book came out, but the book, when it came out, it was highly like scrutinized for promoting like I had it here. Relationship to the novel, but it was
they were scrutinized about fascism.
It was it was being because it was accused of promoting militarism, fascism, and military rule. And the film took all that and kind of like made a satire of all of it. Yeah. And then the director stated
you had to be in the military to become a citizen.
Yeah, and so in the first scene in the movie, which is an advertisement for the mobile infantry, it was actually adapted a shot for shot from a scene from a movie called The Triumph of Will from 1935.
Really?
Yeah, so if you take that scene from that movie and run them side, it'll be almost exactly the same. Just
I do like the advertisements.
Yeah,
like where it breaks away and it's like, would you like to know more? And it gets into like the news kind of stuff. I don't know why, just something about that really like I enjoyed a lot.
Now, how far ahead is this in time?
I know this
because that's a hard time. I didn't like I couldn't establish
2197.
Okay, 2197. So that is in the 23rd.
So we get to see a lot of, and this is one thing I picked up on that I kind of wish, because they showed a lot of like in Buenos Aires and stuff. Yeah. They show a lot of military advancement in the future, but I don't see a lot of civilian advancement. No. And I would like to see more of that.
It was pretty douchey stuff.
It was. And there's another thing that I brought up to my wife too, is because they're all in Buenos Aires. Yeah. But everyone speaks English, and they're not like, they speak English with an accent. They're American.
Yeah, they're American.
And they're talking about sending their son to Harvard, which is obviously in America. Yeah. So is Buenos Aires a fictional city in America, or are they legit in another country?
I think it's all America at this point.
That's what it seems like, right?
No, I think that's what it is. I mean, granted, like his name is Rico, and Dina
Johnny
Myers,
Rico.
Yeah, Johnny Rico, and Dina Myers is Flores.
Dizzy Flores,
Flores, and Denise Richards is Carmen Ibanez. Like they all have like these names. The only one that had like a white person name was Neil Patrick Harris. Was Carl Jenkins. But everybody else was like kind of like, it was kind of implied that they were like Latin America, like Latin American at one point.
So I guess so. Like, so are we just insinuating that America's taking over everything at this point?
I think so.
Like, is that what in 2197 America? Yeah. And it all starts with Trump, I guess.
Yeah, it does. This is the beginning of the arachnid takeover.
The combat helmets were repainted again and used by SWAT team at the end of the 2001 remake of Planet of the Apes.
Wow, okay.
I mean, I get it, I guess. Yeah. So
you had them there, you can reuse them.
I knew Denise Richards wasn't the best actress, but she is awful in this movie.
You thought so?
I do not like her in this movie.
I didn't think she was that bad.
I think she's very emotionless.
I think
it sucks.
I think this is probably her best movie she's ever done.
Maybe, but that's still not saying a lot.
Yeah.
I love how Neil Patrick Harris goes from normal friend to the biggest dick on earth.
Oh yeah, like he's just like, oh yeah, I send people to die. It's something I have to do.
Yeah.
Also, I like kind of like the prequel to like Barney-esque type of like womanizer that he does. Like, there's like one scene and I'm like, that's Barney. Yeah, like that's 100%. The character that he uses for Barney.
Where he shows up and he's dancing with Diz.
Is
that what you're talking about?
Like
when Diz tries to dance with Rico and he leaves.
Yeah.
And he just like swoops in. He's like, hey, what's up, lady? Like all he needed is a drink in his hand.
That was Barney. That was totally Barney.
That was 100%.
That was great.
He turns really quick.
He does not age.
He doesn't.
He looks exactly
They made him look pretty. It was funny because when
I
watched
older in this movie than he does now.
At the end of the movie, at the beginning of the movie, I watched it and I was like, man, he looks kind of young. And then when he was an officer, I was like, damn, they aged him really well.
I think they just didn't put makeup under his eyes. They're just
like, he looks pretty good.
You're gonna look a little haggard. Yeah. And then, you know what? That was a good call on them.
There was a lot of great actors in this movie.
I think it was like we're gonna make you look like you've seen some stuff.
I forgot Michael Ironside was in this movie.
Oh yeah,
I love Michael Ironside in this movie.
You know, rest in power, Michael Ironside.
I wanted to not laugh. Is Michael Ironside gone?
He's dead. Yeah.
When did he pass?
He just passed away like not too long ago.
Yeah, because he was just in because he does the voice of Sam Fisher, right?
Yeah. Oh, you know, I think he's still alive.
Yeah.
Who do I'm thinking of somebody else.
Yeah, I was like, I know he's still alive because he just did the voice of Sam Fisher. Because he does Sam Fisher from the Cypher Filter.
Sorry,
from the Splinter
Michael
Cell
Ironside.
series.
I thought you were dead.
And they brought Sam Fisher into the newest Ghost Recon game as a DLC, and he came back to voice Sam Fisher again, which has brought everybody into thinking that he's making another
comeback
movie or another game. So everyone's like begging for that. Do you know Mark Wahlberg turned down the role of Johnny Rico?
Oh, good. I'm glad he did.
I like Casper Van Dien in his role.
No, everybody that
even though he didn't do much else.
Everybody that was in this movie would play their parts.
So the guy, I can't remember his name, the character's name, but he was the rival of Casper Van Dien on the football team, and ended up kind of hooking up or alluding to hooking up with Carmen through the rest of the movie.
Patrick Muldoon.
I swear to God, in this movie, and I pointed it out to my wife, and she started laughing her ass off. He looks like what Chris Kattan would look like if he went to the gym.
Yeah,
like through the whole movie, every time I see him, I'm like, it's Chris Kattan.
It's funny that he played such a bad football player. Because I'm looking at his Wikipedia, he actually played football as tight end for the USC Trojans.
Really?
Yeah.
He wasn't bad.
Do you remember when he was in Saved by the Bell?
Yes, I do. I thank you. Yeah. The whole movie, I was trying to remember where I remembered him from, and he was Kelly's boyfriend, and he ran the Max.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's where I knew.
Amy Smart, she was in this movie. She didn't have a name until the very end.
The very end.
Yeah.
Yep. You catch her at the very end.
I'm trying to think.
The actor who was in Walking Dead.
Yeah,
he played
Gabriel.
He's in Walking Dead.
Yeah,
he's in there.
He's the
guy.
And
then Hank from Breaking Bad. Who plays Walter's brother-in-law?
Oh,
he was the commander.
You're right.
In the movie.
That's right. Yeah. Oh my God.
Gary, I don't know why I love Jake Busey so much.
Yeah.
But Jake Busey is great in this movie.
He's really good, but it just like I think he got some work done or something because he looks totally different in this movie. Does. Yeah.
I loved him in this, and I loved him in The Frighteners. I feel like Michael J. Fox.
Yeah, I feel like he probably got something done like to his eyes to make his eyes. Maybe he put something in his eyes now to like helps him keep him because like his eyes are crazy. Like,
he has that Gary Busey mouth.
Oh yeah, he looks really bad.
He's got those Gary Busey teeth that on a roast someone once referred to as looking like a row of urinals.
Yeah, Seth Gillum, that's Gabriel from The Walking Dead. I think he's still alive on that show. I haven't been watching. So yeah, I think everybody that was in this movie did a great job. There was one that stood out. The original captain of the ship. Who was it? The one that Denise Richards was on.
Her death scene is so funny.
Her death scene's hilarious. But she plays Sue Ellen, the Brawless Wonder on Seinfeld.
Yep.
And her death scene's hilarious. It's like really exaggerated.
Well, it was funny because I'm going through testing for work, and one of the testings I went through was talking about security features on garage doors so children don't get pinned underneath them.
and
I watched that class today, and then that happened to her.
Oh, God.
And then she's like, "Evacuate." That's an
yeah.
Which
so that was it.
I swear to God, I don't know what it is, but speaking of deaths and stuff and voices, like in The Division, some of the bad guys that die have the worst death rattle and death noise. Like there's a couple guys that have killed, and you can just hear go. as they die. It's so stupid.
Exasperated.
But her death scene was terrible. Dizzy's death scene was terrible.
Oh yeah, she totally.
She's like, at least I got to have you, Johnny.
Yeah.
And like goes really into like convulsions and shit.
Like the day that they finally like banged. Right?
She was chewing the scenery so much, and yes, that's when they banged. Which I laughed my ass off because they're in there. And first, my wife was like pointing out, she's like, she goes straight for his nipple. Like, why? And then Michael Ironside unzips the tent.
Where you just like, take some notes.
Michael Ironside unzips the tent. At first, my wife had problems with it because as soon as she rips off his jacket, she's like, why is he not wearing a shirt under the jacket?
Because he's just wearing a jacket, yeah.
And then as soon as Dizzy rips off her shirt, she's like, why is she not wearing a bra?
Yeah.
And she's like, obviously they exist because there was that spot when Denise Richards was leaving that she wasn't wearing a shirt under her shirt. And you could just see every detail of her bra when she was leaving off. Yeah. My wife was like, obviously she has one. Or they have them because she was wearing one.
Pointing out all the scenes.
But it's funny because Michael Ironside unzips the tent.
Yeah.
Tells him, he's like, we have to go. We've got a distress call.
You got 10 minutes,
He's
right?
like, you have 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Who's with you? And then Diz, she's like, it's me, sir. He's like, you have 20 minutes.
Yeah.
But he doesn't zip it back.
No, he leaves it.
And there's all these troopers running by, and he doesn't zip it back. And they're just like, no one gets up and re-zips it. And they're just like, we're going to do this.
Yeah, he goes, that's enough time.
We can do it.
Yeah.
He starts taking his pants off. But, oh my God. I loved Michael Ironside at the beginning of the movie as the teacher.
Yeah.
And I don't know why I laugh so hard whenever he's talking to Carmen and he turns around and just like hits her with his nub.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know why this is so funny.
You know what I thought was hilarious? So there's a scene where I think Rico is so everybody's got like has their enlistment papers and they've taken that test to see what they're placed at. Then Denise Richards,
I know what you're talking about.
She's going. So
this is when they're enlisting.
Yeah. So Captain Carmen, she goes up and she's like, "I'm gonna be a pilot." And he's like, "Great."
He's like, "Great. We need more pilots.
We need more pilots." And then Neil Patrick Harris shows up and he's like, "I'm in military intelligence." And he goes, "Oh, soon I'm gonna be saluting you." And then so Rico gives his Casavantine and he gives it to him. The guy has a robot arm.
Yeah.
So he has one arm normal, one arm's a robot, and he grabs.
Why doesn't he have robot legs?
Okay,
this
is
what you're getting at. Thank you.
He obviously can. Like they have the technology to make.
We have the technology. We can rebuild him.
An intricate limb,
working
such
limb.
as a hand.
Because it's more dramatic that he has nubs.
Which would be more harder to configure, you would think, than just make a metal leg.
So here's my question: is that metal arm military?
Or not metal leg, but robotic.
Is it military issue? And that's why Michael Ironside, as a teacher, didn't have one?
I guess
because he was just walking around with his nub, right? So why didn't he have one too?
Yeah.
But where's the legs?
Yeah.
Because Michael Ironside didn't have his robotic arm until later.
In the movie. But where's the guy's robotic legs? How come he doesn't have robotic legs?
Why doesn't he have legs? Yeah. Because it's more dramatic that you saw him without legs, I guess.
That's true. But also, I guess, because the guy says, mobile infantry is what made me the man I am today.
And then it backs up and he has no legs.
He has like no legs.
One arm.
Yeah. He's like, you only have one working arm.
So it's like foreshadowing. But you should still see that he has, I think it would have been just as effective.
If he had metal legs. Yeah. Or not metal legs, but robot legs.
Did you know, and I didn't know this, that Rue McClanahan from Golden Girls was the biology teacher?
That was her?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah. You couldn't tell because she was blind and she had those goggles seared onto her face and she had the scarring around her eyes.
Yeah.
So I laughed so hard.
Oh, I did not know that.
Denise Richards is chewing the scenery in her disgust for touching that bug.
Yeah.
I thought that was so funny. And then my wife points out
for those that don't know, it's Blanche. Blanche from Golden Girls. Yeah.
When he's sawing open the bug, he barely touches it with the saw, and the bug just splits open.
Yeah.
And then he just jumps in there and starts yanking out
guts,
all the intestines and everything, and handing them to her. And nobody's wearing gloves.
Yeah, nobody's wearing gloves.
Yeah. And I've done dissections. You don't just go in there and start yanking stuff out.
No, you wear gloves.
Yeah. Well, not even that, goggles. But you. With precision, take the stuff out.
Yeah.
He's just yanking stuff out he's going through his wardrobe trying to find his favorite shirt.
Yeah. It's in here somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He's trying to find the spleen. It's in here somewhere. I got to find it.
this is like I wouldn't know it's plain if I saw.
So I love that they lean in hard in this movie as to how big of a hard ass Diz is.
Yeah,
like they originally show her she has no problems, like she's elbow deep in the bug, and then the next scene she's the quarterback in the football team.
Yes,
which is not a problem, but in that age, like in '97, that was their way of leaning into it. It's like, oh look, this woman can play football, and it's kind of funny now because that happens in high schools and colleges all over the place. Yeah, it's finally happening. Like, it's something accepted, but it was their way of leaning into it. Like she must be a badass because she plays football. No, she just might want to play football, dick.
Yeah, there was like 4 other girls on that football.
It was
team.
just a weird moment. Like I like the early relationship with her and Casper Van Dien. There was a really good shot, and I don't know why I like this shot so much when they're at the dance, and he's dancing with Denise Richards, and Diz. He's already kind of blown off Diz, and it's at the end of the night, and Diz and Neil Patrick Harris are dancing behind them.
Oh, yeah.
And they kind of are dancing away and the camera's turning. And then it slowly closes in just this one like foreshadowing shot of Casper Van Dien and Denise Richards. And directly in between them is Diz's face. And she's just staring a hole through him. And it's just I don't know why. I thought it was a really cool shot.
Yeah.
And then later on, of course, like they get together and everything. And then, of course, by the end of the movie, it's just them two, Richards again. And Neil Patrick Harris is alive. This movie and every other space movie makes me wish that we had space travel as a normal thing so I could have a space funeral.
It'll get there.
I want a space funeral.
Just throw your ashes into the vacuum of space.
Yes. No, just my whole body. I don't need it to be ashes. I just want someone to stumble across it one day. And I want it to be marked as cargo, not as a casket. So that way someone has to open it and be like, what have we found?
Donk.
And I want it to be marked as like a hyperdrive. Yeah. It's like something someone would need. So that way they're forced to open
hyperdrive spare parts. Please return.
Exactly.
Please open and return.
Please open and return to sender.
Yeah. So yeah, overall,
I hated his parents 100%.
Oh, his parents are totally lame.
His dad was such a douche.
You're cut off. Yeah,
You're cut off.
They were the worst actors of the whole movie.
And then he makes a big deal about it, like I'm leaving with everything I own. You're going into the infantry. Like you're going to be wearing a uniform for the rest of your life anyway. Like what does it matter?
Yeah, she has like Denise Richards.
Yeah, she's taking so much luggage.
All this stuff, and then like he's like, well, I'm wearing everything I own right now.
I'm like that's what he needs though.
It's like you're not going to wear regular clothes.
Yeah, like they're going into
the boot camp. Which I didn't understand because, like, technically they would both go into boot camp.
You would think, right?
Yeah.
Instead of, like, I guess, though, they do the placement test there and they go to different boot camps.
I guess her boot camp wouldn't be
She
as
went
hard.
to flight school. He went to infantry boot camp.
Yeah.
Which I love the boot camp scenes, especially when they kill the redneck dude.
The poor guy.
Yeah.
He just had a malfunctioning helmet.
What other movie was he in? And I just remembered it. Because I looked it up earlier.
He just had
He had a malfunction with this. Is Breckenridge is what his name was. He had an issue with his helmet and took it off, and the next thing you know, he gets shot in the face.
He was in Mr. Belvedere.
It's not telling me every. Oh no, because I clicked on Breckenridge, the character, not the actor.
In Major League 2.
Thank you.
Yeah.
He played. It was Rube
Baker.
Baker. Yep.
Yeah, he played the character.
He was great in Major League 2. Yeah. Major League 2 is another one of my favorite movies, by the way. First one's really good too.
He was also in How I Met Your Mother, so he
reunited
with Neil Patrick Harris.
Oh, that's super cool.
Yeah.
Let's look through.
He also played. He played. He not only did he play catcher in Major League 2 and Back to the Minors, he also played a catcher in the movie The Fan. Doesn't he get killed in that movie?
He does get killed.
Yeah, he got shot, right?
Or
stabbed.
Let's see here. To avoid an NC-17 rating, 4 seconds had to be trimmed from a decapitation during the last battle in the Whiskey Outpost base.
Really?
Yeah.
That would have caused.
They had to take that out, and it would have caused.
There was
NC-17.
only one F word in this whole movie, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
And it was from Kelly Kapowski's boyfriend.
Yeah. Yeah.
More ammunition was moved in this film or used in this film than any other film previous to it.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
Which I can't believe how well. Yeah, there's some nudity in this movie, but yeah, I think I was highly surprised at like the lack of like vulgarity in the movie.
Well, listen to this. Casper Van Dien is a genius. Casper Van Dien says he is often asked why a blonde-haired, blue-eyed actor would play the Argentinian Juan Rico. He suggests that his character was the descendant of exiled Germans. Argentina was famously a hiding place for Germans and German war criminals after World War II.
There you go.
Guy's a genius.
Yep.
Like that's really good. Like backtracking. It's like, look, guys, look.
This is like the one like good movie he did, huh?
17 gallons of fake blood was used in this movie, and he is in a sequel. Did you know that?
Oh, he is. He's in the animated one, right?
Is it animated?
Yeah, he did the animated sequel.
I kind of want to watch all of the Starship Troopers movies. You know, there's like 5 of them.
Oh, he returned to the role of Rico in Starship Troopers 3 Marauder, a direct-to-video sequel in Starship Troopers. Did you know Van Dien replaced the guy who played Johnny Cage in the YouTube series Mortal Kombat Legacy?
Really? I didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
He's also in Alita, Battle Angel, that just came out.
Oh, wow, cool.
I don't know who he plays. I haven't watched the movie yet,
Amok.
unfortunately.
He plays Amok. I'm looking at his filmography right now.
I'm looking up just Super Troopers, see how many of them there are. So there's Super Troopers, and then there's a TV series called Roughnecks, the Super Trooper Chronicles. Then a 1988 video, Super Troopers, that's animated.
Starship Troopers.
Super Troopers. God, why am I doing that? Starship Troopers Trader of Mars from 2017. There's one as recent as 2017 out. Starship Troopers True. Two,
Trader of
Hero
Mars.
of the Federation. Yeah. 3 is Marauder, and then there's Invasion from 2012. There's a Starship Troopers
Trader of Mars.
Game?
That's it's a animated one. So there's a game.
What was this on? PC. That's why I don't remember.
Video game, Starship Troopers. Oh, yeah.
Casper Van Dien played Rico in the video game.
I do remember that, yeah. I do remember the video game for the
Does he have a kid? There's a kid in here named Cappy Van Dien and Grace Van Dien in the video game.
He probably, in the game?
They've got to be his.
Yeah.
You know, watching this, I kept thinking to myself, like, man, this would make such a good video game. And then I remember Halo exists.
Yeah,
like, I should just play Halo Wars. Yeah. Like, everything I see in this movie, like seeing the outposts and stuff, I'm like, I just want to play Halo Wars now. Like, just the RTS Halo. Like, it just reminds me so much of this. So, we ready to rate this movie?
Yeah. What are we rating? What's our skill level?
What's our skill level on this one?
Or not skill level, but how many
bugs?
How many bugs or how many roughnecks?
How many missing limbs?
How many missing?
Out of 4.
Out of 5 missing limbs. How many? What do you rate this?
Dude, I give this a 4.
A 4?
Yeah.
I give this a solid 4.5.
I absolutely love Demolition Man, but this may be my favorite movie.
This one's really good. Yeah, this one's probably.
I had a lot of fun watching this movie.
I only paused the movie once, and that was just to take my son to the bathroom.
I paused it because my daughter came in, and first off I paused it to hear what she said. Then she started watching the movie, and like getting into it. Yeah, and I'm like, turn away! Someone's about to die, because I remembered vividly everything that happens in this movie.
I kept on waiting. I was like, "Where's
everything?"
I was like, for some reason, do you remember? Okay, there's a little bit of a continuity part here. Like at the beginning of the movie, it's them in mid combat on one of the planets, and it's when the newscaster gets killed and gets chopped in half. He takes and in the beginning of the movie, he gets like stabbed, like kind of like on his side, but then later on in the movie, he gets stabbed in his leg. Yeah. Did you notice that? Yeah. And when he's like, I call it the back to tank. Because
that's exactly what I call Star Wars. It. When Rico gets stabbed.
Yeah, and they're working on his leg. But if you go back and you watch the beginning of the movie, maybe I missed it, but it looks like he got stabbed like on the side. Like he's standing there shooting and gets stabbed like under like his left rib cage.
Huh. And I didn't catch that.
And then when it comes back, but when it goes into later in the movie, I was like, well, I'm waiting for the part where he gets stabbed, because it's a little bit elongated, like the death scenes, and then so like he could just get stabbed in the leg, and it kind of just like you see the bugs come at him, and then like it cuts to the next scene.
It's funny because as soon as that happened and he got stabbed later on in the movie, my wife's like, he doesn't die. He dies right here, right? Like she kept forgetting. She's like, he doesn't die. There's no way he dies. He's in here later. I was like, no, he does die. Yeah. And then they bring him back, and I told her, I was like, in the back to tank, and I had to like backtrack. I was like, I don't know if she knows what the back to tank is, which is Star Wars reference. I was like, they put him in the healing tank, because I remember Diz like kissing the tank. I vividly remembered that, and then I forgot about Gary Busey. You're dead, man.
Yeah, no, Jake Busey.
Or Jake Busey.
Yeah, he puts the.
I love Jake Busey in this movie.
Yeah, he puts the
why.
paper up saying like, you know,
it
Rico
KIA.
KIA. Yeah, and there was that scene where Denise Richards goes up to it, and she immediately she searches Rico's name, and it comes up KIA. Yep. And so she's like all heartbroken. So solid 4.5 limbs.
Rico's Roughnecks.
I really like this. Yeah, Rico's Roughnecks. I thought everybody was great in the movie.
I love the spot at the end where the drill sergeant is the private again.
Oh yeah,
like, he captured the bug, and he has to salute Casper Van Dien.
He took down the brain bug. Yeah, the smart bug.
Oh, with the vagina.
Yeah, that was part of the one of the animations that didn't look as good was the brain bug.
Yeah, the brain bug.
It's supposed to be a little bit more fluid, not as hard.
Yeah.
So
and then that's another thing that bothered me too, because when they do show the bug's eyes, the only time before the brain bug that they show eyes on a bug is with the big beetle, like the tank beetle, and they're glowing green.
Yeah.
And then you get to the brain bug, and they're all supposed to be the same species and stuff, and the brain bug is like brown-eyed.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, that's kind of weird, but whatever. It's
I guess it was sending like, well, obviously, I guess the brain bug can like telepathically tell the other bugs what to do.
Yeah.
So I guess in theory, it'd be.
But then he's just got a giant vagina on his
in face.
The middle of his face with a tentacle like thing that comes out
that sucks brains out.
Yeah.
And apparently, I guess that's how it gains knowledge.
Yeah.
So like it killed like some pilots on that base.
Yeah.
Found out their plans and like tricked. I guess it can suck out enough of your brains or like control you to do something still.
Yeah, something like that.
And then that's what they called in. Yeah, they tricked them and they ambushed them. So that's kind of cool.
Planet B is dead. There's no way we're fucking killing bugs. I loved that scene, though. I loved that whole fight at the outpost. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, it was really good. I highly enjoyed the movie.
It was a fun movie. Yeah. We need to decide what we're doing next.
I haven't even thought about it.
I haven't even thought about it either. I've just been so excited for this one. Yeah. We'll get an announcement on the next episode.
Yeah, we'll think
about it. And we'll throw some ideas around, and we'll come up with something on the next
episode.
We'll
do a poll. We'll do like genres, and then from that genre, we'll
pick something.
Yeah, we'll pick something.
Yeah, we'll just pick. We'll have you guys pick from the genre, and then we'll pick a movie from that genre. Next episode is going to be a fun one as well. It's probably going to be a little bit longer than normal because we have a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
We might even have a guest if everything can work out.
Oh, nice.
As we normally do when it comes to WrestleMania season. We normally have at least a 3-man booth going on.
Yeah, this will be our...
Next week is a wrestling episode.
Yeah. And this is also like
a return to form for us.
A 1-year anniversary of when our last podcast.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
pretty crazy.
It's a fun time next week. We're going to be talking WrestleMania as WrestleMania is a week from today as we're recording on Sunday. And it's not just WrestleMania. We've got a lot of wrestling news and speculations and stuff to go through that we have not talked about because we've tried to stray away from wrestling a bit on the show. So we're going to be playing a little bit of catch up next week and talking about stuff that's going on. And then we also have 3 shows to talk about. We've got a Ring of Honor show. We've got an NXT show,
NXT,
and
New
Japan, and then also WrestleMania itself. And we may even talk a little bit of AEW next week. Yeah, so there's a lot of wrestling to go on. A little bit of return to form, return to the smart marks in a way, I guess. It's a special episode, and then we'll be back to our normal geeky stuff the week after. So.
That is what we geek out about.
Yeah, I mean, it's something we geek out about. We've strayed away from it because we don't want to make this, only about wrestling because that's what we started off doing. But we've got to pay it tribute somehow because we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for it. So.
Yes.
As always, make sure you follow us on every social media platform at GOFO Podcast, and that includes Tinder. Matt's on Tinder at GOFO Podcast.
Right?
Swipe right, left. I don't know. Whatever it is.
I just figure. Something ever happened.
He's even on the Threesome Tinder website.
Yeah, I don't know.
Whatever.
What's it called? Thrinder?
Yeah. It's funny that we both know about that.
We just made it up.
No, it's a thing. I've seen it on Twitter.
Oh.
Someone was talking about it on Twitter, and it's apparently a thing.
Yeah, and I'll knock if any of our listeners.
And it is. It's spelled like you were right. Thrinder. It's like 3NDR.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's wow.
I mean, we're not here to kink shame anybody.
No, I'm not kink shaming anybody.
Get it where you can get it.
Yeah, that's what as long as you're not hurting anybody.
Yeah, make sure you check us out on Instagram and Twitter at GoFo Podcast. Like and review the show. We'll read your reviews on the show, and we've got some GoFo stickers that we can get ready for people. So send us your review. At GoFo Podcast. Send us a copy of your review at GoFoQuestions@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Let us know that you sent that review, and we'll make sure to get you a GoFo sticker for your efforts.
That sounds fun.
Be ready for next week.
That's
Are
right,
you
baby.
Ready? Let us know your thoughts on Starship Troopers as well.
Yeah, sound off in the comments.
Send us either on Twitter, on the email, or in the reviews, and let us know your thoughts on the Starship Troopers, and we'll read those on next week's show as well.
Awesome.
So until then, Matt.
Laters, geeks. The Geek Out Freak Out podcast is produced and edited by Matt Salgado and Jeremy Holman. Special thanks to Rock My Bit for the theme song.